What's going on, Grizz Nation? Welcome into another Grizz Game Day update. I'm Kelcey. That is Michael Wallace. Tonight, the Grizzlies will take on the New York Knicks. They are going to wrap up the season series. The second time the Grizzlies will play them this season. Let me set the scene once again, Mike. This Knicks team is clawing to get into a playoff or play-in spot on the East. This is their third. Well, they've had 3 straight wins. This will be they're trying to get fourth. Both teams coming off butt whoopings. The Grizzlies over the Pelicans, the Knicks over the Mavs. And so the Grizzlies have had 2 days rest since the New Orleans game here at home. The Knicks, this is going to be their 6th straight away game. And so the Grizzlies really, again, I'm going to say kicked butt. Last time they played the Knicks, it was 120 to 108. A lot of people played well, but then I look over at the Knicks, Mike, and I'm looking at Julius Randle, Emmanuel Quickly. Both had career highs earlier this week. Although they're 12th right now in the East, this is not a team where you look at their record and you're like, this one is one that you can roll over, because this team is hot right now. It's
a team that's hot, relatively speaking, to what they performed. They underachieved this year, no question about it. This is a disappointing season for the New York Knicks, because they were in the 4-5 spot last year in the first round of the playoffs with the Atlanta Hawks. And either one of those teams that advanced from that series could have gone on and done some damage. The Hawks elevated themselves from that series in the first round and got to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks were supposedly building on Julius Randle's breakout year, and we're hoping to, add Derrick Rose, bring him back. They had the big time acquisition. They were trying to make sure that Kemba Walker had something left in the tank. He really didn't. So there's been an underachieving season for the Knicks. Having said all of that, they still are in desperation mode. They want to come in here and get a victory. They beat Dallas in a tough spot. The Grizzlies have struggled with the Mavericks. So when you add all of those components together, this isn't a team that's playing to its record right now, as you said before. RJ Barrett is a guy that's capable of putting out some big time performances as well too. So this will be a team that will catch the Grizzlies' attention. They're also playing in the biggest market, so the media is going to be down here paying attention to this game. So this is an opportunity for the Grizzlies, no question about it.
You mentioned RJ Barrett. He had 23 points against the Grizzlies last time they played. The 7 games that the Knicks have played since All-Star break, he's averaging 27 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. How do the Grizzlies stop him tonight?
I mean, he's one of those guards. He's unorthodox because he has the lefty release. He loves to get his shot. He can score at 3 different levels. And right now, Dillon Brooks is doubtful, which means that it's probably one of those situations where he comes back in the next game or two. I hope something shakes up and he can play tonight, because we definitely could use him defensively on the perimeter. But how do the Grizzlies stop him? They force him to be a playmaker. RJ Barrett isn't necessarily comfortable making plays for others, even though he's gotten better this year at that. Shot selection is also an issue for him as well too. They can go 1-on-1 a lot or 1-on-3 a lot and get undisciplined. So just play strong. Desmond Bane is going to have to take that matchup initially. Kyle Anderson is going to get on him some. DeAnthony Melton is going to get on him some. But the nightmare is Julius Randle, because he can play inside and out. And that's going to be one. Jaren Jackson Jr. cannot revert to foul trouble. Jaren Jackson Jr. He's got to stay out of foul trouble and try to mitigate, that low post matchup with one of the most versatile bigs we have in the league.
Yeah, the Grizzlies are 20-5 when Jaren scores 20 or more points, and that has a lot to do with him staying on the floor. We saw what happened the other night when he had 13 minutes on the floor, and the Grizzlies just didn't look like the same team. So that is going to be a huge key, is keeping Jaren on the floor, containing Julius Randle. I hate the word stop, because we're not stopping him. He's a good player. Containing him and just making his shot selection contested, make everything a little more difficult. Mike, when I look at the entire team, this is one of the slowest teams in terms of pace in the entire league. Not only are they bottom of the league in pace, they're bottom of the league in fast break points. They want to slow you down. The Grizzlies, they want to get going in transition. They want to speed things up. They don't want to have like a set defense coming up against them, especially this Knicks team who may have a little bit of size on them, especially with Dillon Brooks out. So in terms of a very slow team with Thibodeau that is going to, he's a good defensive coach, versus the Grizzlies who want to push the pace. They want to get things going. They want to keep things going quickly. How do these 2 different types of basketball work?
Simple. Yeah, simple. I mean, the simple answer is the Grizzlies have to make shots. So that means shot selection. Get the shots that you want to get as opposed to the shots that the Knicks are allowing you to get. You know what I mean? They're going to funnel you to guys that are going to be in uncomfortable spots. So how do the Grizzlies mitigate that? They got to increase the tempo. That means running off of makes and misses. They got to be able to do both. And that's going to be the key right there. Can they create pace and tempo even when the ball goes into the hole for the New York Knicks? Get it out quickly, get up. Steven Adams always looks down floor. He always looks down court to find guys that are streaking. So they have to create those easy opportunities. The other way you get the pace going the way you want, force turnovers. Yeah. Force turnovers. And if you can force turnovers, particularly live ball turnovers at the top, then that gives you the 3-on-2s, 2-on-1 type fast breaks that you can get to. And then it's a highlight factor. And that's how the Grizzlies want to play, particularly at home. This is going to be an exciting game. It's a Friday night game, near capacity sellout when you look at that. The energy downtown on a beautiful day out here is going to be, next level. And this is an opportunity for the Grizzlies to show in front of national media, if not necessarily a national television audience, that they're legit. Second place right now. They're in a lockstep tie with Golden State going into tonight's games. Both teams have identical records. This is a chance for the Grizzlies to shore up this 2-game homestand before they go on the road for the next 4. And those are all winnable games too, as they start to trend towards health with Dillon Brooks coming back.
You mentioned turnovers. The last time we played the Knicks, they had 15 turnovers. However, they outscored the Grizzlies in the paint, which is something that the Grizzlies continue to dominate. Now, in that game, of course, Steven Adams had 13 rebounds. He only had 4 points. He has been a little more of a consistent scorer as of late. So my last matchup that I want to talk about is Mitchell Robinson, Steven Adams, the rim protectors of all rim protectors. He had 11 blocks last game. What?
I love Mitchell Robinson. I love Mitchell Robinson. I think he's a piece that if somehow, some way a team can snag him out of New York and put him on a contending type team, he will be the difference maker that puts a contender over the top. I mean, he has that kind of athleticism, that kind of timing around the rim. He's one of those guys that came out of high school and went to the pros. I love him. He reminds me a little bit like Robert Williams is that same kind of way with the Boston Celtics. You know, one of these guys that just gives you a whole bunch of energy. Steven Adams will have his work cut out for him, but we do know Steven Adams is more physical among those two. So if we can get more physical and the refs let us get away with being physical, then I think Steven wins that matchup easily. But Mitchell Robinson is a guy that can create second chance opportunities. He can crash the boards. We have to definitely keep a body on him, especially when he's playing with Julius Randle for sure.
There we go. The game tips off at 7:00 tonight. Mike did mention Dillon Brooks is not out. He is doubtful. Obi Toppin is questionable right now. Cam Reddish out. So we'll hear about Obi Toppin later in the day. We'll hear about Dillon Brooks later in the day. Make sure if you want to come hang out at FedEx Forum, Mike said the energy downtown has been infectious lately. You can get your tickets at 901-888-HOOP or grizzlies.com. Or if you're chilling at home, you're hanging out, the game will be on Bally Sports Southeast. And not only will it be on Bally Sports Southeast, it'll be on NBA TV, but it'll be the Bally Sports Southeast feed. So
there you go.
Check out our guys.